Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you for being with me again today. Today's article discusses some status of some operations in Ukraine, and it's coming from the Ukrainian side, so must be accurate. It's coming from today and is coming from a Ukrainian media outlet. So this is from Ukrainska Pravda from today, 11th of June, 2022. And this is the title: General Staff: Russian aircraft and artillery paralyze Ukrainian armed forces on 4 fronts. So Russian forces are deploying aircraft and artillery to paralyze the armed forces of Ukraine on 4 fronts. Source: the General Staff of Armed Forces of Ukraine informed this at 6 o'clock on June 11th. Details: on the Volyn and Policia fronts, up to 7 Belarusian battalions are continuing to carry out tasks to reinforce the Ukrainian-Belarusian forces border in the Brest and Gomel Oblast of Belarus. Inspection of the combat readiness of the armed forces of the Republic of Belarus have been extended until 18th of June. The closure of airspace over the southern part of the Belarus have been extended until 8th of July. This is a threat of missile and airstrikes on Ukraine from the territory of Belarus. And we're back. We got people making a lot of noise, so I can't stand that. But what can you expect? They're waking up now. All right, the closure of airspace over the southern part of Belarus has been extended until 8th of July. There is a threat of missiles and airstrikes on Ukraine from the territory of Belarus. On the Sivchenchina, Sivershchina front, Russia continues to deploy up to 3 battalion tactical groups from the Western Military District of the Armed Forces of the Russian Federation at the Russian-Ukrainian border in Bryansk and Kursk Oblast in order to prevent Ukraine from transferring its troops to other, more effective active fronts. Russian troops have fired on the positions of the Ukrainian armed forces in Sumy Oblast with artillery. On the Kharkiv front, Russia's main efforts are focused on maintaining defense and preventing a further advance of Ukrainian troops north to the state border of Ukraine, further advance of Ukrainian troops. On the Sloviansk front, Russia has focused its main efforts on preparing its troops for an assault on Sloviansk. Russian troops are conducting assault operations on the Pasika, Bohorodice front. They have had some success and are trying to consolidate their position on the northwest outskirts of Bohorodicne. Russia is regrouping its troops on the Liman front and is replenishing ammunition and fuel supplies in order to prepare for an assault on Sloviansk and Siversk. On the Severodonetsk front, Russian forces are advancing on the Novotoshivka Orikove front. They have had some success and are consolidating their positions around the town of Orikove. They are also continuing to conduct assault operations in the city of Severodonetsk. All right, and then we have some more. On the Bakhmut front, Russian occupation forces are regrouping in order to mount an offensive on Mykolaiivka and Komishuvaka. Up to 1 additional battalion tactical group has been deployed on Bakhmut front in order to reinforce the grouping of Russian troops there. On the Avdiivka, Kurakove, Novopalivka, and Zaporozhye fronts, Russian forces are deploying aircraft and artillery to paralyze the armed forces of Ukraine and prevent Ukrainian forces from being transferred to other fronts. On the Pivdeni Bush front, Russia's main efforts are focused on constructing defensive fighting position and taking measures to reinforce and fortifications on the second and third lines of defense. Fortified checkpoints made of reinforced concrete were spotted near the bridges across the northern Crimea Canal. Russia continues to block all civilian shipping in the northwestern part of the Black Sea. 6 ship-carrying caliber cruise missiles are at the ready in the Black Sea waters. Are at the ready to shoot. 6 ships carrying caliber cruise missiles. So this is a report coming from the Ukrainian side. Now, when they say the Russians are, having little success, you take that the Russians having a lot of success. When they say that the Russians are having problems and so on, that means the Russians are not having problems. When they say that the Russians are retreating, that means the front is stable. It's not moving left or right. Why am I saying that? They're not going to say, yeah, the Russians are kicking the Ukrainians' butts all over the place, and they're fantastic, and they're going to conquer us, and we're going to sue for a peace. The Russian will do the same way, because that's the way it is. You're not going to say your army is losing right now. You say, well, if it's losing big, you say that the front is stabilized or something. If it's winning a little bit, it's winning big. Exaggerations and minimalizations, that's the normality here. But for them to say this, the artillery is the point here, the artillery. I posted a video yesterday, and it was President Zelensky and other Ukrainians requesting heavy weaponry from some Western countries, and implying that if they don't, not implying actually, explicitly stating that if they do not receive this kind of artillery systems and missile launchers and all that, then Ukraine will fall, and that's their fault, the Western countries, basically. Nevertheless, they want more weapons, and I was making a claim that, it's not going to be the artillery or the weaponry the Ukrainians will lack, but they will start lacking, in my assessment, manpower. They will not have people to operate them, people to hold the front physically, and I don't know what they expect, to have only a big line of rocket launchers that will just shoot and prevent the Russians from physically advancing, and just stay over there, and that's it. And then with that, they will push the Russians back by hitting further and further and further. They will just map the front with the Russians, and they will just push them away. Is that how they expect to fight? Because they're not going to have armies to hold here, tanks here, military shooting over there. That's a limit. And unless the Western countries will send their own, which they will not legally, then it's going to be what? A barrage of rockets that would just keep and push the Russians further and further. That's the mentality. And the Russians don't have that capability. And the Russians, if they see that's going to happen, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to take all these things, guys, out, if they still have missiles. And, they will definitely do that. So it's going to be who has more manpower and weapons. Weapons will be provided by the Westerns, but that's a limit too. The same here with the Russians, but the Russian economy seems to receive enough money from their energy sales with a big profit. So I don't see that curbing soon. And with the formation of a new club and all the economic relationship, thank you very much. I don't see the Russians going bankrupt soon. Thank you very much for being with me again today. They're paralyzed. Be strong, be smart, look for the truth, and be just.